For the last of our mini festival coverage this year, we travel north to Walton Park with action from the Mini Milia and Dunlop Mini7 championships. We'll kick off with the Milias, and it is Rupert Death who lines up in pole position alongside Kane Astin. The Mini Milias always spectacular, as is the Walton Park International Circuit, as away we go. And the pack charge towards Old Hall, and it's Rupert Death who gets the jump just over Kane Astin, with Aaron Smith then looking to challenge in behind. Also Dave Drew's made a good start. He has moved up into fourth place, just clear of Mark Cowan as the field run downhill in towards Cascades. Well, at the Brands Hatch Mini Festival, it was Rupert Death, Kane Astin and Aaron Smith who were the class of the field, and already it's that trio of drivers who are establishing themselves at the front of the pack as they run along the lakeside in towards Island Bend. Mini Milia Championship, really one of the most keenly contested categories of motorsport in the UK. The cars are absolutely prepared, exception, and the drivers at the very, very top of their game. So out of Earl's corner, field really pounding towards Britain's for the first time. Howard at the ground over Sam Summerhays. Midfield as they flick through Britain's chicane and head over Hilltop at the front of the field. It's Rupert Death who is trying to ensure that he has the measure of Kane Astin as Mark Cowan looks on the brakes to the inside of Dave Drew. Nothing doing there for Mark as he looks to overhaul Dave for fourth place. Field all safely through Hizzies. Howard also looking to get in the mix as well. Pursuit of Sam Summerhays. Meanwhile, Kane Astin just beginning to start to turn up the heat on Rupert Death. Aaron Smith behind in third place. They're bringing Dave Drew with them actually as well. And Mark Cowan not too far back in fifth. There's already Astin beginning to just look to see if there's any sort of daylight to the inside of Lodge Corner. The answer is no, there is not. As they run downhill out of Lodge, climb up over Deerleap and into start of the second lap of the race. And now Astin defends from Aaron Smith, who in turn defends from Dave Drew, who saw some clear air to the inside at Old Hall. Daylight very quickly turned into mini-coloured night, so no way past. As now Astin looks to line up the move along Lakeside. He brings Aaron Smith and Dave Drew with him for company. All the while Rupert Death busy at the front of the field, just having to absorb this pressure. At the moment, that is exactly what he's able to do. Sticks to the racing line. Ensures that it's those around him that are having to do all the hard work, because particularly here on the Walton Park International Circuit, if you do just stick the racing line, don't drive overly defensive positions on the track, then it could be very, very tricky for those around you to find a way past. Climb up over Hilltop on towards Hislops, and Rupert Death from Kane Astin. Then Dave Drew having a little bit of a look to the inside of Aaron Smith. Now that could be good news for Kane Astin, because as Drew pressurises Smith, just allows Leading Joe to begin to break away. Also now Robert Howard begins to bring himself into the mix in sixth place. He is chasing Mark Cowan in fifth. Such is the competitiveness of this field that really the top 10 cars are all still in fairly close contention with each other, as around Druids on towards Lodge Corner, and defending once more is Rupert Death. Looking one side then the other is Kane Astin. The same is true of Dave Drew as he tries to find a way ahead of Aaron Smith up into third place. Smith gets a superb run out of Lodge Corner, and now Astin really has to defend that second position. These gaps ebbing and flowing with each and every turn, but Astin does enough. No way through for Aaron Smith. They swoop through Old Hall. It's the Camber do the hard work, as then into Cascades. We've got one car in a little bit of trouble. That is Michael Green. Unfortunately, Michael touring towards the pits, so I fear that his race is run. The same is far from true of Rupert Death. He has got Kane Astin once more with renewed vigour coming up onto his tail. The same is true of Aaron Smith and Dave Drew. Great performance this from Dave, really mixing it at the very front of the field. Smith there in third. He's not yet at this juicy Aaron Smith, I would suggest, to show his hand. He had a little nibble inside of Kane Aston at Old Hall, but aside from that, he's had no option really but to follow in as part of this train and see what the cars in front and behind do, and then possibly pick up the pieces if everything begins to fall in his favour. Rupert Death continues to lead the way from Kane Aston and Aaron Smith. You can see that the pace of this leading group is bringing others behind into the mix. There is Paul Clark, the Italian job liveried car, who is part of this group. At the front of the field, there's just only a little bit of daylight. You get to Mark Cowan in fifth, as now Kane Aston gets a good run out of Druids. Now this is the first time he's really asked serious questions of Rupert Death into Lodge Corner. As we take a look on through the field, only a couple of cars have been shuffled adrift. Ian Briscoe and Gary Warburton. As into Old Hall, this is where Aaron Smith is at his strongest. So Kane Aston no way through past Rupert Death. Smith in third place, still looking to see what sort of opening he can fashion, and the field are so close that you get a sense if Aston goes for a move and it works, several cars may surge past. Meanwhile, here is Nathan Burge. Nathan unfortunately has been a little bit dropped by the leading group of cars. Here are the leaders then turning through Island Bend once more. Where is the opening for Kane Aston? It's not at Shell Oil's corner. Tempting as it must surely have been to thrust to the inside of Rupert Death all the way through. Smith then in third place continues as sort of watching position, seeing what Kane Aston does in front of him, getting a sense of whether or not Dave Drew wants to push for a move from behind. And just behind Dave Drew we've got Mark Cowan, then Robert Howard, still part of the mix as well. Through his lops as we progress ever deeper into this race. And you get a feeling that we're yet to see the defining moment of the race, because Kane Aston, for all the pressure that he has applied to Rupert Death, hasn't quite yet pulled the trigger and really looked to try and force the move. Maybe that's just because Rupert Death has had the car perfectly positioned, or maybe it's because Kane Aston knows he's going to get one shot into Lodge Corner at Old Hall, and he wants to make sure he takes that opportunity, and he's almost certain to find a way past. Can't do it this time into Lodge Corner. Smith squeezed the outside of the road, but now Aston gets the good exit from Lodge, and this is the first time that he's drawn alongside Rupert Death as they head towards Old Hall. Now, are we going to see a change for lead this time around? Kane Aston determined to try and make it stick to the inside, and indeed he does. Through he goes. Great move from Kane Aston. He takes the lead of the race away from Rupert Death, and Death immediately under pressure from Aaron Smith, who's also going to look to try and slip past if he possibly can, but he can't quite do it as they turn through Druids towards Lodge Corner once more. And now it's the turn of Aaron Smith to look one side then the other. Defending the inside line is Rupert Death. Is that going to be enough as the pink and black car of Aaron Smith looks to the outside, and then will attempt the switchback, almost the exact replica of the move that gave Kane Aston lead the race. And again, it would appear as if it's going to work here for Aaron Smith as he draws alongside Rupert Death as they come over Rowett Hilltop into Old Hall, and through goes Aaron Smith. He gains the place. So Rupert Death shuffled down into third position. He's not got an awful lot of time remaining in the race either, because we are getting pretty deep into proceedings. Leaders head on towards Cascades. Mark Cowan has found a way past Dave Drew as well. So we are into the final lap of the race. Along Lakeside we go, on towards Island Bend. Kane Aston has got just enough of a buffer over Aaron Smith. It's not gigantic, but by the level of competition that we've seen over the past 20 minutes or so, it has been, it would appear to be enough. Tyres all squeal for adhesion as the throttle is picked up by this group of cars, and they then jump onto the brakes, hop over the curves at Britain's. Aston's got the decisive advantage. The question is possibly whether or not Rupert Death has got anything left in his locker to maybe find a way back into second place ahead of Aaron Smith, or whether or not Mark Cowan could possibly poach a podium. About a third of a lap remaining. Kane Aston is looking well set to have victories to his credit at both of the Brands Hatch and Alton Park mini festivals for 2015. He's climbing over Clay Hill on towards Druids for the final time. Aston leads. Who is going to claim second place? Smith, though, asks all the questions of his machinery, and it answers through Druids. It buys him a car length or so over Rupert Death on the run towards Lodge Corner. I think that's going to be enough for Aaron Smith to hold on to second place. Indeed it is, as Rupert Death in fact has to defend from Mark Cowan. Field head through Lodge for the final time, up over Deer Leap. Checkered flag goes out, and it's victory in the Mini Millier Championship at Alton Park. Kane Aston. Second place goes to Aaron Smith, and Rupert Death completing the podium after an absolutely exhilarating race. Let's have a look at the classification. Aston wins it from Smith and Death. Ian Briscoe completes the top 10 as we take a short break. Join us in a couple of moments' time with all the action from the Dunlop Mini 7 Championship.